Tonight, the staffing crisis in Ontario hospitals comes to a head as we head into the long weekend.
It doesn't seem we are taking enough actions to prevent for it from becoming worse.
More than a dozen hospitals are reducing services, even shutting down emergency units due to staffing shortages. The Ontario Nurses Association saying things will only get worse unless action is taken. Plus,
the shortage of certified and trained lifeguards, it really is an issue across jurisdictions.
The City of Toronto has been struggling to find enough lifeguards and swim instructors to work at its public pools. It's hoping a new wage increase will encourage more people to apply. And
today we are kicking off Carnival.
This is the weekend, the return of the Caribbean Carnival. The excitement is building as we get set for the big grand parade tomorrow. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. Some Ontario hospitals are having to make some tough decisions this long weekend, from slashing hours to shutting down their ICU, all because of staffing shortages. Ali Chiasson has more on the crisis and what nurses' unions are calling for.
Since the spring, we have been seeing a big change in the hospitals.
Rosemary Buot is an emergency room clerk in Oshawa. She joined us from a supply closet in her hospital.
Our wait times are quite a bit longer, and we still are having staff being burned out.
She says the beginning of the 7th wave of COVID marked a breaking point for a lot of her colleagues, several of whom are deciding to leave the sector altogether.
Healthcare is a really desperate situation right now. That's for sure. I'm really scared.
Her hospital is one of 2 in Durham region that will be taking patient transfers from Lakeridge Health in Bowmanville. That hospital announced yesterday that they'll be temporarily closing their intensive care unit. Long weekends tend to see a surge in patients, and they just don't have the staff to respond.
Okay, we reach a catastrophic limit.
Both the registered nurses and the Ontario Nurses Association estimate there are at least a dozen more hospitals in similarly desperate staffing situations.
I know that even Ottawa Valley is having serious issues. I know in Kitchener that there are serious issues.
Fewer nurses means fewer people to transport patients, fewer staff to receive ambulances at the hospital, which ties them up from responding to 911 calls. That's what was going on in Ottawa just this week when Judy Trenton broke her leg.
I was taken to the Ottawa hospital and I waited for about 4 hours along with the paramedics, and there were about 14 of them in there at the time because they're not allowed to leave until the patient they bring in is accepted through the ER doors. It was a Monday evening, and it wasn't even a holiday weekend. It was just packed.
One way to retain and recruit more nurses, the union says, to repeal Bill C-124, which caps a nurse's annual salary increase at just 1%. Now, that's not something the Premier is budging on. The Health Minister's office issued a statement today saying they have a plan to train thousands of more nurses. Now, Minister Sylvia Jones declined an interview with us to discuss that plan any further. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
A Canada-wide warrant is out tonight for a man wanted in the murders of 2 security guards last weekend in Vaughan. York Regional Police say 27-year-old Kensworth Alton Francis is wanted for 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The shooting happened outside a nightclub last Saturday around 3 a.m. 3 victims were found suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 died while a 20-year-old woman was taken to hospital. She is now in stable condition. A 25-year-old Tosin Amos Arawushegbe and 22-year-old Chebueze Moma were killed. Police say the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact police. Long lineups and flight delays have plagued Pearson all summer, and the world has noticed. Sophia Harris has more on the hit to Toronto's reputation and what it means for our tourism industry.
This is what was in the suitcase. This is our rapid cut machine, and it was critical to our business meeting.
Business owner Eric Griffin flew to Toronto's Pearson Airport last month to market this machine, which makes mobile phone screen protectors. But things didn't go as planned. Griffin said his plane sat on the tarmac in Toronto for at least 2 hours. Then his suitcase containing the machine went missing, and his return flight was canceled. So he decided to drive home to Philadelphia. How would you sum up your experience at Pearson Airport?
Really 0 out of 10 stars. I don't think it could have gotten worse.
Pearson's reputation has taken a hit lately due to mass complaints about travel chaos.
7-hour delay, flight canceled, now I'm looking for my baggage.
Airports around the world are struggling due to surging demand at a time of labor shortages. But Pearson has garnered special attention for having the highest rate of flight delays this summer among the world's 100 busiest airports. Media heavyweights, the BBC, CNN, and the Wall Street Journal have each covered the story.
This is a national embarrassment. In the short term, this is clearly going to impact Canadian tourism. Why would anyone decide to travel through Pearson Airport? It's almost as if it's a dare.
We're hearing about
some people in the travel industry are also concerned.
Folks are deciding that, you know what, based on what we're seeing, we're just not going to travel to Canada, to Ontario, to Toronto, because it's seen as being too cumbersome.
The federal government and the Greater Toronto Airport Authority, which runs Pearson, say they've been working hard to increase staff and speed up the movement of passengers, and that the situation is improving. Still, Griffin plans to drive to his next Toronto business meeting in September for peace of mind.
I can predict when I'll get there and when I'll get home.
Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
All week long, we've been celebrating the return of Toronto Caribbean Carnival, and this is the big weekend. Last night, we saw the amazing costumes at the King and Queen Showcase. Tonight, it's all about the music. The party goes on at Lamport Stadium with the Pan Alive Showcase. It's going on for about another hour, so you still have time to check it out. Meantime, the excitement is building for the main event tomorrow, the Grand Parade. Meg Roberts has more on the anticipation and the preparations.
You want to make sure that you came back with your absolute best.
It's been 2 years since Fiona Sween has been able to show off her costume designs. With the return of the Caribbean Carnival, she says the stakes are high. She's made over 200 costumes for tomorrow's parade.
When we design, we want it to be beautiful, vibrant, shows the Caribbean away from the Caribbean.
You'll be able to catch her blue, green, and yellow costume tomorrow at the Grand Parade, along with a dozen other bands. There's more than 10,000 masqueraders who will be dancing along Lakeshore Boulevard West on the ground of Exhibition Place.
The culture has definitely changed. There's a lot, it's become a lot more competitive. It's become, everyone wants to show their absolute best when it comes to the parade.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Toronto Police also preparing for the event. It held its annual Caribbean Carnival kickoff today.
Nothing makes me happier than to be able to see the Caribbean Carnival back here in person.
It unveiled its carnival float, which was designed by a number of community groups and schools and represents this year's theme of Nations United.
It brings us together. And we have to work at that. We have to work at that. If we're going to be the most inclusive city in the world, where everybody really is truly included and embraced.
Toronto Police say officers will be out in the city this weekend to provide traffic management and to ensure public safety. It's updated its website with a list of road closures.
Our hearts are filled with love and pride. When we touch road, we dance the path under the beauty and love of our ancestral skies.
Meg Roberts, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, Dahlia Attree joins us now with a first look at the forecast. Dahlia, it was a nice day out there today. Good way to end the work week and looking good for the weekend as well.
Sure is, Kelda. It's a beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful Friday. Definitely a great time to plan what you want to do if you're going to hit the Caribbean Carnival Parade. Well, this is the weekend to do it because it's going to be a good one. Lots of sunshine. Just make sure to stay hydrated, especially if you're going to be moving around and dancing around on Saturday. The daytime highs for today in Toronto, 28 degrees, Windsor 27, London a little bit more on the cool side, along with Barrie 25. and 24. The humidity today wasn't as bad as yesterday. Now, in regards to rain, are we expecting any rain? No, we're not expecting it for Saturday. We're not expecting it for Sunday. Look at that clear skies for the most part. So you're getting a little bit of cloud coverage, but overall beautiful sunshine that's going to be throughout the weekend. Now, as you head into Monday, that's where things start to get a little different. But let's just stick to right now. Tonight, temperatures will cool down. It'll be 16 degrees. So if you're still doing the Caribbean Carnival activities, tonight's a good night for that. And tomorrow afternoon, 28 degrees, but it'll feel like 32. Kelda?
Thanks so much, Dahlia. It's a problem seen across North America this summer, a lifeguard shortage. And Toronto hasn't been exempt. The city has been struggling to fill its aquatic positions, but the tide seems to be turning, and it hopes a wage increase will encourage more people to apply. Dale Manukduk reports.
Summer salts at Donald D. Somerville Pool, open today for the first time this season.
I found out it's open, so I just sneaked in before everybody else. Now it's filling up though.
You gotta keep it a secret.
Because yeah, nobody knows it. Okay, guys, keep it.
It's not fully open just yet. The 50-meter Olympic-sized pool remains closed due to significant damage to the liner.
I mean, it kind of sucks how the deeper end was kind of closed. Other than that, it was good.
The pool had the necessary amount of staff on duty, but it's been a struggle this summer. Just last month, the city says it was about 140 lifeguards short of the 1,000 required to supervise its pools and beaches. The shortage was in large part due to lifeguard certification courses shutting down during the pandemic, but also because of low wages, a concern workers have voiced to the city. Today, the city announcing it is raising the wages.
So for the lifeguard positions, they are all going up by an average of 17%. And then swim instructors are also seeing a fairly significant raise.
The city hopes it will encourage existing staff to stay on the job and attract new hires. Barbara Byers has been advocating for the hike for months.
I'm sure it reflects the City of Toronto acknowledges the important role that the lifeguards and swim instructors serve, and the training and the cost of the training and the time for the training.
The city is now at 90% of the needed staff and is actively recruiting. That includes reaching out to old staff to inform them of the wage increase. In addition to reopening Donald D. Somerville, next week the city will also open Amesbury Sports Complex and Riverdale Park East Pool, as opposed to other outdoor pools that close on either September 4th or the 5th. The 3 pools that open late will also close late on September 11th so that Torontonians can make the most of the facilities. Dale Manukduk, CBC News, Toronto.
And whether you're hitting the pool or the lake, lots of people will be on the roads finding ways to enjoy the great outdoors this long weekend.
We're headed up north for my bachelor party, 3 days of golf.
We're going up to Muskoka.
Lake Muskoka, just some swimming, water skiing.
On our way up to Perry Sound, so we decided to leave a little early and enjoy the ride up instead of having to rush around.
A friendly reminder to give yourself time to get to where you're going safely. The OPP is holding its annual Move Over campaign, reminding drivers to give space to emergency crews on the road. And they're also asking all drivers on the road and water to be safe.
And obviously, we also want to remind everybody about the importance of slowing down and moving over when you see stopped emergency vehicles on the side of the road. You know, that's our office, that's our workspace. Take your time, drive safely, keep your head on a swivel when you're driving. If you're operating a boat or an ATV, again, use your safety equipment, use your common sense, and just be careful.
Moving over for emergency vehicles is part of the Highway Traffic Act. In 2021, the OPP laid almost 900 charges for drivers who were cutting it too close. An update now on a terrifying story we brought you earlier this month. People out enjoying Canada Day downtown when out of nowhere an alleged impaired driver caused a crash. Among those hurt, the young couple you're about to meet. As Farah Morali shows us, they were just beginning their new lives here in our city. Their lives now forever changed.
When we decided to come here, we decided to get some matching tattoos.
Inside of this couple's forearms, a commemoration of the start of a new life in Canada.
We were fortunate and brave enough to just get out of Mexico and try something different, pursue a dream.
Carlos Pasarachea and Emilia Baezter moved here in December of 2020. He transferred to the Toronto office of his company. Baezter studied dance at Centennial. The life they came to know here changed this month. On Canada Day, Pasarachea was hit by an alleged impaired driver while the couple was walking home. He was one of 2 men hit. The other died. 6 others were injured. They say they were crossing Wellington with the pedestrian light on.
I fall to the ground, and immediately I feel this great stinging, burning sensation on my leg. As I'm laying down in a plank position, I turn around and I get a glimpse of what my leg looked like, and it was completely tarnished.
Baezter was not hit but suffered minor injuries. She got the call from a doctor a few hours later.
He told me I think Carlos we're gonna have to amputate his leg because his leg is completely lost. Like there's no muscle or skin. So I need you to come to the hospital right now.
The couple has no family in Toronto and has spent the past few weeks preparing to adapt to this new reality.
We just really felt that we started to belong here as outsiders. We built this little family of friends. Why was this taken away from me? Why me? Why at my age, a 32-year-old guy, I carry around a healthy lifestyle? Why is this happening?
A 26-year-old driver was arrested and is facing charges that include impaired driving causing death and bodily harm. What lies ahead for Pasarachea? Years of rehabilitation, prosthetics, and lifestyle changes. Yet, they both remain deeply positive.
Yes, there's anger, there's frustration, but there's a lot to look forward to. Like, we can't be stopped because of this.
There's strength in all of us. It's just a matter of finding it. It's just a matter of having the right people beside you.
Part of that optimism, remembering what they still have.
And I cannot but help feeling grateful that I'm still alive, that Emilia didn't have anything remotely close to this. Like, you're here, you're next to me, and I'm still being able to hold her with my hands. I didn't lose my hands, and I'm still being able to do that.
Farah Morali, CBC News, Toronto.
Mayor Torre is now under investigation by the Integrity Commissioner after a complaint over an alleged conflict of interest. The mayor addressing the situation at an event this afternoon.
I am cooperating completely with the Integrity Commissioner, as you would expect, and I will just say one more thing, and that is that I believe my record with respect to integrity speaks for itself.
The complaint was filed earlier this week, alleging the mayor contravened the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. The complaint was filed by Adam Chalif. He alleges Torre had a conflict of interest when he voted to scale back the popular Active TO program. Earlier this summer, Blue Jays CEO Mark Shapiro wrote to the city urging it to stop the Active TO traffic closures on Lakeshore Boulevard so that fans could drive to the games at Rogers Centre. Torre voted in favor of the motion, and Active TO was scaled back. Torre is a Rogers shareholder and an advisor to the Rogers Control Trust. Rogers owns the Toronto Blue Jays. And you're looking at a live look of the Toronto skyline, partly cloudy this evening, becoming clear overnight, and making way for a gorgeous day tomorrow. Currently 23 degrees in the city. Let's go back to Dahlia now. And Dahlia, for anyone heading to the Caribbean Carnival this weekend, the weather looking pretty spectacular.
That's right, Kelda. I mean, last week we had a scorching heat of a weekend, a little bit of mix of rain. This weekend, Mother Nature's like, take a break from the rain, just enjoy the sunshine. But on that note, like you mentioned, the Caribbean Carnivals, well, you're just gonna have to stay hydrated because that's a lot of movement, a lot of dancing, and you're gonna need the water, especially if you're drinking. So make sure you stay hydrated with water. Sunny, long weekend it is. Daytime highs for today in Toronto, 28 degrees. In Windsor, 27, London, 25. So it's a little bit on the cooler side in London, but mostly overall pretty hot in most areas. Now, as you can see, beautiful sunshine, just clear skies. We're not really seeing a lot of clouds in sight, and that will continue until we go into Sunday. That's when you start to see a little bit of cloud coverage, but overall, it's mostly sunshine. You're going to want to spend most of your time outside. Sunday, there's the Egyptian Heritage Month is wrapping up, so there's a festival in Mississauga, so you can always spend time out there as well. I'll be emceeing, so good thing the weather is on my side. Tonight, temperatures temperatures will drop to 16 degrees. We get a little bit of a cool down there, a little bit of a break, and heading into tomorrow afternoon, 28 degrees. Feels like 32, a great time to be outside, especially for those that are hitting the Caribbean parade. Mississauga 14 degrees, Toronto 16, Hamilton 14, so a little bit of a cooler side in Mississauga and Hamilton. Markham and Oshawa a little bit more on the damp side, but overall it's a dry evening for most. Saturday and Sunday, look at those temperatures just increasingly becoming beautiful. We're seeing 30 degrees on Sunday, Monday 30 degrees as well. The lows are really pretty steady and seasonal overall. Tuesday we get a little bit of cloud coverage and a 40% chance of scattered showers. As you head into Wednesday, 31 degrees. So overall, we're in the 30s. We're enjoying it. A great time to enjoy it on the weekend. And when you head to work, I mean, you might want to keep an umbrella with you on Tuesday, but for the most part, it's all about that water bottle, the cap, and the sunscreen for this weekend. That's what you want to have on you. And yeah, just drink water and mind your business.
Thanks so much. Today, Raptors superfan Nav Bhatia opened his first ever basketball camp for kids in Malton. The free camp runs all weekend at a basketball court that Bhatia helped build 2 years ago.
Every day, 100 new kids are going to come and play. They're going to learn the discipline. They're going to learn the game of basketball. They're also going to learn how to treat each other.
Over there, I learned about my shooting skills and my proper shooting form.
We learned ball handling.
This guy knows how to dribble under his leg like a lot.
On the court today, kids worked on the fundamentals with coaches from all over the region. They even got to meet and learn from one of Canada's best, WNBA player Kayla Alexander.
I love the fact that Nav always uses his opportunities and his platform and his resources to give back to the community. I'm a big believer in the power of sports. I've seen it in my own life, whether it's through the friendships that you make, the confidence that you build, the life skills that you carry with you.
Bhatia says a camp like this could help develop some future stars, but he says the most important thing, of course, is creating lasting memories. And that's our show for you tonight and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Shannon Martin has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. I will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.